I got in a car crash.
Oh boy.
What? I met a boy and moved back to America.
Oh!
So I could break up with him.
Stop!
Don't ever give up everything for one person. It was the dumbest that I've ever done in my life.
Hey podcast kittens, it's Cathy Cat and
Ladybeard coming at you with another treaty invoking episode of Cat with Guest in the studio.
Exactly, we have guests in the studio. I'm super excited to welcome PiNKII.
PiNKII!
Please introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm just kidding. Ohazas! My name is PiNKII, aka Natalia Natchan, and I am known as American Gyaru rapper, apparently.
Yes.
Nice to meet you guys.
All
Nice to
right,
meet you.
thank you for coming today, sweetheart. Lovely to see you. It's wonderful to have you. You are adorable, by the way.
Gyaru.
Oh my god, it's gonna be really hard to speak in English all of a sudden. Switching back and forth has gotten me crazy.
Kathy came in today and she's just in Japanese, and then she had to do her mental switch to get over to English.
Switch it over.
You were in the Japanese mode today, eh?
Yes, I was when I came into the studio. But guess what? We are all wearing pigtails today.
All right, Pigtail Crew!
We're the Pigtails crew today.
Pigtail Crew! What I'm talking
Gotta
about.
mention that. So you are a rapper, you are a Gyaru, you do music, you've lived in Japan, and you are now living abroad. There's a lot of stuff we want to talk about with PiNKII and her story and why I think she's very, very, very interesting, and you guys need to know her. So let's start at how did your passion for Japanese music and Gyaruism begin?
Okay, so that's a really hard one, and it's gonna be a long answer.
Okay,
but
good.
Please.
We're ready.
Whenever I was really, as long as I can remember, I think I was 4 or 5 years old. My dad at the time would go to Asia to do work trips.
Okay.
And I remember just being super interested, and I always wanted to go with him. And as I got older, I started studying more about other countries, and I kind of fell into Japan somehow. I think it was really the cute aesthetics, and everything's very bright, looking at Shinjuku or something.
Bright, like us.
Yes,
very
exactly.
bright and
Exactly.
flashy
Not
and-
boring. I don't like boring. I don't do boring. And I was born in Missouri,
Okay.
so it is super boring.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Sounds
And-
aggressive.
Yeah.
Missouri's boring, you
Just,
reckon?
yeah, it's
Ah.
not great. So I don't know if you'd fit in there, to be honest. You're too cool.
What? We're too
Oh.
much color?
You
Too
guys
much
are
pink?
a little too cool for Missouri.
Oh,
I mean, I shouldn't be such a hater because my family's there, but anyway.
Americans hate on bits of America a lot, I've noticed.
So,
Yeah.
that's a
You
big
guys
thing I've noticed
don't-
about
It's a
America.
big place.
It's true. I actually right now have a German roommate and a Colombian roommate, and they don't hate on their country at all. It's
Oh, no,
really
we
crazy.
Germans hate on our country quite a lot. I think it depends on who you meet.
Yeah, she was saying the rest of Europe doesn't like you guys.
Oh my god. That's a whole other tin of
This
work
conversation
we're
broke
coming
down.
into.
Back to you.
Okay,
Back
anyway,
to you.
this might happen a couple times.
You traveled, your dad traveled, you started learning a bit more about cultures, and you thought
Right.
Japan was an interesting place.
Colourful.
Yes,
Colorful.
and I liked the music. I started getting into the fashion, and there was a show. Do you remember Puffy on Yumi?
Yeah.
Hey, yes.
Yeah, they had that show, and I was obsessed with it. I started buying all the Puffy CDs and just wanting to know more about them. And I found their fashion was kind of Harajuku adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I went into the rabbit hole of Harajuku. And then I started buying books on Japanese fashion. And I bought a book that had different types of Japanese fashion, like Gyaru, Ladybeard, and Harajuku, and all downhill from there.
Oh,
Actually-
downhill from there.
Yep, all downhill from Actually, that's how we first met. We met at the Harajuku Fashion.
Oh.
So
Millions
doing
and
fashion.
millions of years.
Oh, happy days. Look at that. That worked out
It
well.
was just yesterday.
And now here we are. Who would have thought back then in year X that now we'd all be sitting here today doing this together?
Exactly. So your love for fashion brought you deeper into the different genres that there are. And there are many. Mine is the Harajuku style. You were into the Harajuku style. You moved more towards the Shibuya area with the Gyaru style. So we're going to talk about in depth about what Gyaru culture is in the second part of the episode. So there's a lot more for you guys to find out about Gyaru culture as well.
Culture.
Culture. So
Culture.
you got into it, but what actually got you to Japan?
Yeah, and now, just hang on. Gyaru and that, surely that's not the end of the story. There's things happened then, yeah? You
Thanks
liked
so much, though.
the Japanese stuff and Puffy and whatnot, and then
I mean, there's always a big change between liking something and coming to live in Japan.
Ah, that's exactly
Yeah.
correct. Fill in this gap for us, please.
I was like really obsessive as a kid.
Okay.
And like when I was into something, I was like super, super into it. So it kind of became my life. Like I was not just the fashion, I was also really interested in like the traditional culture and like the food and just like everything to do with Japan. And I just remember saying like, I'm going to go to Japan one day. I'm going to go to Japan.
Mhm.
And I think my mom was just pretty much prepared for that. And so I enrolled in a Japanese class when I
good
was in
move.
high school.
Good move.
And I got so lucky because they all took us, we did a school trip and we came to Tokyo for 2 weeks. And instead of shopping at 109, we had to climb Mount Fuji, which was not my, you know,
Not
thing
your
of
cup
choice.
I can hear
Give
the
a cup of
salt in
soup.
there. There's like a
gonna
lot of
say.
salt.
I'm sorry, I waited my entire life, my entire childhood to go to this stupid shopping mall. And I was only there for 1 hour. It was kind of a bummer. But it's okay. 'Cause
Yeah,
now
but
I'm
you
there.
did make it.
Yeah.
That's 1 more hour than you previously had.
True.
And then you got to climb Mount Fuji, which is fun. I haven't done that.
It wasn't. I forgot my sneakers in Tokyo, and I had to wear Uggs. I wore like these sequin Uggs up Mount Fuji.
Oh, you wore
my
sequin
God.
Uggs up Mount Fuji.
This was like, well, a while ago. Okay.
Summertime or wintertime?
It was like May, like late May.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
winter time.
If this was
was
wintertime, you'd be frozen to death on the top of a mountain
But
by
even
now.
May, it's going to be quite cold going up there. You
Yeah.
got the school exchange. Yep.
Yeah.
So I went to Japan. I fell in love. I came back to Missouri, and my child brain was like, I'm never going back to Japan again. And I like cried every day. And then I continued to wear Gyaru fashion. Do you know Hello Project?
Yeah.
Like, I found a video of Tsujino Zomi and Aikago from Hello Project. They were in a group called W, and they did a song called Robokiss. I found it on YouTube, and I was like, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I want to be an idol, and it kind of, there's so much in between there. Like, it started with just me learning the dances and stuff for fun, and then I saw girls that would, like, upload. Do you remember when Nico Nico Doga was around?
Yes.
And they had the masks on,
Mm-hmm.
and they would do the dances in their rooms?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like started wanting to copy that, and then I guess I fell into streaming on Nico Nico Doga,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started gaining a little bit of a following, and I was like, hey, I might be able to do something here. And so I was like, I started telling people it was my dream to become an idol, and hoping to gain support that way, and it kind of worked.
Great, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Wow.
So you put yourself out there first. There's a lot of people who like ask, how do you get to Japan?
Yeah.
To make it happen? You know, do you just like randomly get lucky? It's not like that. You kind of put yourself out there 1st
Mhm.
You captured the hearts of your followers first,
Yeah,
and then things started rolling for you.
definitely.
When you were asking people and talking to people, this was online you were doing this, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
Nico
which,
Nico Doga.
I mean, as a teenage child, this was not the best thing to be doing, but you know, the internet was very new. I feel
Well,
like
talking to strangers online,
yeah.
that's arguably not the best thing to be doing.
And the comments were so, like, when I think about it, like, these people were, like, writing me comments or, like, very nasty comments. And I'm like, they knew I was a child.
Oh,
just-
man. How old were you when you did all those dance videos?
When I started doing the dance videos, I was actually 14.
Oh, wow, that is young.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And you had to, like, directly deal with, like, very bad comments.
Oh.
Well, not right away. So I started doing the dance videos, and my stepdad was like, I don't want you showing your face. Like, you can wear a mask like all the other girls. Somewhere down the line, I guess he gave up on that. My parents gave up on a lot. I was just so pushy and obsessive with everything.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
All right, so you whip
But-
that mask off.
Yeah,
show the world your
exactly.
lovely
They-
face.
I mean, like, come on. I don't want to waste this.
Well, it's a
You
beautiful
got it.
face.
You
Look at
got
this
it.
face, ladies and
Flaunt
gentlemen.
it.
Look at it. It's lovely.
If you got it, flaunt
You
it.
got to do it. All right, so you're doing that. And then what happened?
So I did, like, some underground idol stuff.
In the States?
Oh, no. So I came to Japan. I had, like, it was a pretty small agency that I was, like, talking to and emailing with online.
Hang on, I'm sorry. You're in the US doing your dances on Nico Nico Doga.
Yes.
And then you start talking to a Japanese agency online.
Did they come to you or did you come to them?
I went to them. So I was doing the live streaming, so I kind of made a name for myself. And there's an idol, Sakura Gawa Himeko. I loved her. She was like my idol. And so I found her agency that she was in. And I asked them if I could work with them. And so they were like, yeah.
Wow.
Ballsy
Good
move,
job.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job, really. That's very impressive.
To be honest, I'm surprised that I did that. Like,
I'm surprised you got a reply. I'm surprised they didn't
Yeah.
just snub you off as who is this American girl?
I think the numbers did help.
Oh, you had good
And-
numbers, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What were the
Oh, that
numbers?
was
Was that okay? Or was that a secret?
I don't really remember anymore. I feel like now compared to people, it's like it was probably nothing. It was like a couple thousand or something on YouTube and like maybe 1,000 people watching during a stream. But I feel like for the
1,000 people
time,
watching
Still
is a lot.
decent. 1,000 people
1,000
is a
people
lot.
watching is a lot.
Yeah.
just nowadays with all these streamers, it's like millions of people watching, or like the bigger
Sure, but
Twitch.
it's a
Well, the
different,
bigger ones, but
totally
the
different
average
dynamic
goes like
now.
around 100. So
Totally
you're
different
doing quite
dynamic
good with
now.
1,000.
Yeah.
It was, the internet was a lot smaller back then too. So, and
Wow.
there were a lot less people doing it. So I don't know, I guess they just wanted to try and branch out and they were like, we don't have any foreign idols, so let's try it.
Wow. So they
Ooh.
brought you to Japan?
No, I bought a ticket
Okay.
and I ended up traveling there. And
Good. Tenacity. Good.
there was a bunch of stuff that happened that ended up kind of squelching that idol thing
Oh, no.
Okay.
for a little while. And then I kind of gave up on it. But then,
But for a time, you were in Japan and you were being an idol. Like for a time.
yes.
Yeah, so hey, you come to Japan and with this
But I
first
wasn't
agency, you did
living-
idol stuff. So standard issue cutesy cute idol.
Yes.
Okay.
Like over the top cute.
Okay. But you were not living here. You were just back and forwarding it?
Yes.
Wow, that's
Oh,
tough.
wow. That is rough. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, but that was a couple times. I would say when I got to like really get in the entertainment industry is a couple years after that, I did an AVIX audition. They had like a worldwide audition, and unfortunately, they told me that I couldn't win that audition because I didn't have a entertainment visa at the time.
Oh,
Frickin' visa,
that
as
is-
we've told you.
Yeah.
As we told you many times.
100 times in this podcast.
Frickin' visa.
The first thing you need to look out for is to get your visa, and that's the toughest thing in Japan.
It's the biggest
not
enemy.
a cakewalk.
No, biggest
It is
enemy.
not.
Mentioning
Okay,
it's cake
so
at the end of this.
You were not you were not allowed to
cake.
win the AVEX contest because of your visa situation.
But they told me if I were able to get a visa somehow, like go to school,
Yeah.
they would put me in their artist academy.
Wow.
And sign
AVEX
me.
AVEX is
Good.
a big label in Japan. Seriously, like Ayumi Hamazaki is part of AVEX.
A
So
big
that
attempt,
it's
love it.
huge. All the big people are part of AVEX.
Yeah, it's a big
Pretty
deal. And they have a artist academy where they train up and coming artists. So I see. Wow.
That's
okay,
what I
pretty
did, yeah.
That was
impressive. So that's what you
amazing.
did.
Yes.
So what did you do? You went to language school or something to get a visa? Or?
Yeah, I went to language school for
Good
2
move.
years.
Good
And then
move.
when I finished that, I went to beauty school.
Okay.
And then after that, I got an entertainment visa.
Okay, cool. I see.
You went to Van Tan Design Institute, not just a beauty school. It's one of the beauty schools. What did you do there?
I did hair and makeup.
Yeah.
I know nothing about this beauty school. Please tell me.
Yeah, no, it's one of the famous beauty schools in
Really?
Japan.
In
yeah.
Tokyo?
Yeah, Van Tan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really wanted to go. There's a school called Burea, and it's like a Gyaru beauty school.
Ah.
Yes. Oh my god, I still like part of me still wants to go for fun, like save up a bunch of money and just like go to school one time, but they don't give you a visa.
Ah, of course.
wow,
they
because
don't.
they're probably too small to like issue them or something like that. I
Yeah,
guess. Van Tan
probably.
is a big name, so they can do that.
Mm.
So you get yourself a visa through doing this stuff, and now you're in the AVEX Academy. That's amazing.
Sounds like lots of good opportunity. Were you as yourself, or did you have to join a group, or how did people market you?
So then they told me that I should be a YouTuber because of my kyara, or like
Because like
Because
you're
of your
very
character.
chirpy, you can talk,
Yeah.
that kind of
I
stuff.
see.
so they were like, instead of pushing the music, we're gonna start off with making you like a YouTuber.
Hmm.
And that was when YouTube was like not like people didn't know what a YouTuber
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Like, do you guys remember being like, I'm a YouTuber?
He's like,
And people are
what?
like,
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
hell does that mean?
Hey, I started this 12 years ago.
I'm sure you know. Like, that's so crazy to think about because now it's just part of our, YouTuber, TikToker, content
Part of our
creator.
lexicon. Yeah, yeah.
It's the word
Influencer.
influencer didn't exist 12
Sure
years ago.
didn't.
It wasn't any of that. Now I aged myself.
So they stuck you on the YouTubes.
Mhm.
And they're like, you're doing this now. How did you feel about that? Were you like, oh, I want to be an idol?
But you
and now
came
I'm-
in for the music, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So whenever I was younger, I think one of the things I regret is I was very like, well, this person tells me what to do, so they must know better than me because I don't know
Yes,
anything.
of
So I
course.
just went with it, and I was like, if I become a successful YouTuber, then maybe they'll let me debut. And like, I worked really hard to become like a good YouTuber. I uploaded, I want to say, 3 to 4 times a week, maybe
Oh, good.
5
That's
in the beginning.
Oh my
That's a
God,
lot.
that is hard.
And I
Hard work.
edited them like.
Hard work.
And now I don't
God.
even like editing TikToks. I'm like, yeah. So
It's tough. But that's when you used Natalia Natchan as your name.
yeah. So they told me, they were like, oh, Natalia is like masureyasui, like might be easy to forget.
Harsh.
Right? So, or they told me it was a little because of my fashion, because I was like pop, and you know, all like old people are just like, oh, you're Harajuku fashion, you wear colors. So they were like, let's make you stand out. We want to give you a kind of weird name, like Kyari Pamu Pamu. We thought Natalia Natchan would be good. And I was like, all right,
Oh,
why
okay.
not?
Okay.
Okay.
So you upload loads and loads of videos. What was your content back then? Was it like Shohin Shokai? Was it like produce? Look at this, I sell something. Or-
Everything. I tried doing like makeup tutorials.
Oh,
I
cool.
feel like everybody tries makeup tutorials. I tried doing covers. I tried doing cooking videos. But my video that kind of blew up was me talking about the difference between Japanese and American culture.
Okay.
Mainly
That's-
the men.
That is still
men.
a thing that will still do well on YouTube.
Yes.
People love hearing that kind of stuff.
Everyone wants to understand. Everyone outside Japan wants to understand what the hell's going on.
And especially with a topic like that.
Well, I did it like kind of a comedy way. So I was like, American guys are like this. And I acted like an American, like Chad, bro type personality. And then I was like, Japanese guys are like this. So it was kind of like a comedy skit at the same time. I really liked Jenna Marbles at the time. So I feel like I took a lot of inspiration from her videos. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these people don't know who that is.
Oh.
I'm not sure who that is.
You don't know who that is?
Jenna Marbles is...
Unless I do if I see the face, but I just don't know the name. That's
Do
the same
you
thing.
know who she is?
Yeah, I know Jenna Marbles.
Well, okay.
Sorry, Jenna Marbles, I'm sorry. They call you Natalia Natchan. You're doing this in Japan. And how long were you doing idol stuff in Japan for?
Oh, like what? Not Idol, right? You
YouTube?
were doing
Yeah,
YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube, I'm sorry. Idol, then, okay, now YouTube. With Avex.
I started uploading videos, I want to say the end of 2015,
Okay.
or maybe the beginning of 2016. There was a big YouTube agency
I already
in
know
Japan.
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yep.
Yep.
A huge YouTube agency, and Avex connected me with them, and we would have meetings sometimes, and they would like give me ideas for content. And I remember one day they told me, this was before any of my videos started doing well, he was like, oh, we really think because you're a girl, you should probably go with like beauty videos and makeup videos. And of course, the video I did that wasn't beauty or makeup ended up blowing up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
stick with your guns.
There you go.
Don't let these people tell you.
Don't let them hold you down,
Mhm.
baby. All right, cool. So you did that for a bit?
Mhm.
And you had several years in Japan doing that?
Yes, and while I was YouTubing and going to beauty school, I also started DJing.
Cool.
Hey, hey, hey,
Avex
hey.
put me in a DJ school.
Good.
Like they literally had
Good.
DJ classes.
Good.
I DJ'd like trap music and dubstep,
great.
which back at the time, not a lot of clubs were playing that.
Right, okay.
So I started DJing like a regular event at Womb.
Oh, good.
Nice.
It's a big old club. Womb's a massive
That
club
is
in Tokyo.
known. Yep, for sure.
It's like the biggest one, I think.
Oh, and I want to mention too, the reason I got in there was because in between this, I worked at 109 for a while.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, 109, please explain.
109 is like a huge Japanese shopping mall in the middle of Shibuya, and it used to be kind of like the Gyaru, like all
Mecca.
yeah, like everything Gyaru. But no, that's not.
Well, we're going to look into a little bit more of the Gyaru.
Yeah, we're gonna in the
but-
next episode we're gonna tell you what Gyaru means
If
because
you
I'm sure
don't
people
know.
are hearing this word repeatedly and going, "What Gyaru? What are they talking about?"
What
We'll
is
get into
Gyaru?
that in the next episode.
Don't worry.
Be patient.
But we're still going here. So, first of all, you come on an exchange, then you cry a lot, then you come back being an idol, then you become a YouTuber instead of being an idol, which is actually where you wanted to be. What happens next?
Then you became a DJ.
And then you become a
DJing
DJ.
while YouTubing, and then I'm like, when I'm DJing, it's so much fun. I'm like jumping around, like having the best time of my life, and I'm like, I like performing. Like, why did I quit music? And in my head at this time, I was in my early 20s, and I was going to beauty school, and beauty school was like, oh, well, I'm too old to do music now, so I'm just going to be a makeup artist.
What?
Wow.
Pardon me,
Really?
what?
Everyone
What's-
like
That's
what's-
what I
twenties?
thought when in my early 20s. That's like literally what I thought. It's so silly now that I think about it. But when I started DJing, I was like, maybe I should give music a chance again. Like, I really enjoy performing.
Okay.
And it was such a pain because I had no idea where to start. Like, I was looking for producers this whole time. Oh, it was just a lot. Like, I'm just so glad that it's so much easier now.
Okay.
So when you were with Avex, did they not set you up with like opportunities?
Yeah, I was going to say, they're a big old company. They should be giving you the resources.
I was doing really well on YouTube, so they were going to try and keep pushing me
Into
in the
YouTube.
YouTube /
So
Vimeo.
did you say to them, get me a producer and whatnot, and they said no?
So actually, at this point, I kind of forgot about this. Sometime when I was studying makeup and I had kind of given up on music, I was like, I think I'm going to quit Avex. I'm going to move to New York and be a makeup artist.
Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, okay.
And so I like hit Avex up and I was like, hey guys, I need to cancel my contract.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm moving to New York.
Okay.
Which didn't happen.
Oh, did it?
But I really thought it was going to happen. So it's not like I pulled it over.
But
them,
did
know?
you leave Avex?
I did leave Avex.
So you dumped your Avex contract, but you didn't move to New York.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good.
What happened then? There must have been something that happened.
I was gonna, yeah, and dumping an Avex contract is no small thing to do, by the
Not
way.
a small thing, yeah.
I was really, really, I mean, I know I said I was DJing throughout this time, but there was a portion that I was going to beauty school that I was actually really into it. And I still really love like crazy fashion and crazy makeup and art. So I really did think that like I wanted to continue through with makeup. But then that darn DJing caught me, brought me back into the music world.
Oh, DJ.
All right, so you're now a company-free DJ.
Yes.
What happens next?
Still doing good on YouTube. So I signed to another agency and it was like one of those gaijin talent
yeah.
agencies.
Okay. Was
They
it
were
a good one or was it one that kind of neglected you a little bit?
So they did give me a visa. They liked the fact
Good.
that I was a YouTuber
Good.
and they thought they could use that. But the woman who ran it was like, oh, well, you need to have blonde hair and you need to be like the gaijin that goes around Japan and tries food because you're cute and that's all you have. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did that?
For a while, and then I was like, hey, can I DJ? I would really like to DJ. And they told me that because of my visa, I wasn't
Yes.
allowed to like make money.
I've played this game.
There it is.
Within visas
Oh,
in
mate.
Japan, there are then really
Categories.
nitpicky descriptions that you need to kind of comply with. It's a bit complicated.
The entertainer's
So annoying.
visa is the worst visa because it breaks down into 4 different categories. So there's one for live performances, there's one for TV and movies, there's one for sport, and there's one for hospitality. So like, hostesses and that kind of thing.
Wait, there's a visa for hosting?
I thought you're not supposed
That's
to
an
get a
entertainment
visa for that.
No, that's an
Yeah.
entertainment visa. So when I was on my entertainer's visa, this was a nightmare when I was on that visa because I needed 3 of them. I needed the live performance, I needed the TV, and I needed the sports for wrestling, yeah? But, if you're doing a live performance and you're at a venue where there's a bar in the same room as the stage, then that counts as you need the hospitality one.
Oh, man.
Oh my,
I
it was a
really-
nightmare.
They
So-
just need to move the like live performing is entertainment. So
Right.
I don't understand. I don't know.
So, yeah, it meant that we could,
Sounds tough.
for a while, it was just really hard to do shows because all the venues have the bar in the same room as the stage. So, and sometimes it doesn't, and they still won't allow it. So, yeah, what a nightmare.
Very
Okay, so I'm
tricky.
familiar with this nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Really a nightmare.
So they say because of your
can't
freaking
DJ
visa, you can't DJ. So you keep YouTubing and running around Japan being cute and eating things.
Actually, that didn't really work out. I was like doing way better with YouTube. So I
okay.
found another agency and they were very willing to work with me on the music front because I was just starting like, I want to make music. I want to be more creative. They were a lot more open to me dyeing my hair pink and like having a personality instead of just being like a random white girl. So I signed with them. I met a boy and moved back to America.
Oh!
All right, okay. It was
All
not
right.
the hair.
Yeah,
It was not the hair. It was not,
Not the visa.
The makeup.
It's not the
It
restrictions.
was not the visa.
It was a romance! Okay, I
I
see.
wouldn't call it that.
Romance.
No, honestly, like I moved back to America so I could break up with him.
Stop! Stop, my friend! This story doesn't make any sense.
Getting whiplash.
It does not make sense.
Stop!
Are you sure you're ready for the lore? Because I did not prepare you guys.
Hit
I
me.
got whiplash
Hit me.
from this situation. So what?
I've never heard of
bam,
someone
bam, 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 you back.
abandoning a career
We
and
just
moving
thought-
countries to
we
break up
just-
with someone.
We just went one direction and straight into the other direction. Okay, help us,
Listen.
help us.
I don't want to go too much into the relationship,
Fair
but I
enough.
just bring it up because I want to tell everybody watching, don't ever like give up everything for one person. Like it was the dumbest freaking shite that I've ever done in my life. But it worked out.
But
Everything worked
How
out.
old were you?
Old enough to know better.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so you abandon ship on everything you've got in Japan. You move to America. You break up with a boy.
And
I
then
go
Then
back
what?
home.
This is
go back to Missouri.
exciting though. At least there's something happening in your life. It's not
I was
boring.
gonna say, the number of
Really?
things that have happened. Yeah, okay. Then,
I know I'm like 30 minutes, I don't know. But
And then you break up with a boy, you go back to Missouri, and then...
so it was funny because he was also, I mean, he was trying to be a musician, but I don't know if you can call him that. We were both making music, and I don't know, the hate for him really motivated me to become a better rapper and musician. So I stayed in Missouri.
All right, you use the breakout pain as fuel for your music.
Yes.
Which is what musicians have done for years though.
Rapper? This is the first time we've heard this word. What?
Okay, I don't know. That's just my America Jin Gyaru rapper is like my tagline.
Okay.
I don't know if I would really call myself a rapper,
So were you
but
rapping?
I rap, yes.
Okay, you were rapping.
Oh.
So this whole time when you were doing your music, you were rapping.
So you
Because you
No.
said dubstep and trap, but the
Yeah.
word rap never got introduced.
Yes, so dubstep and trap, dated a SoundCloud rapper.
I'm
But
gonna tell you, this story is becoming hard work to keep up with. I'm gonna tell you.
You sure you don't want to take any?
No, keep going. You're SoundCloud rapper.
None of this is in your
say,
notes.
I
So.
dated a SoundCloud rapper, and now you say
I-
I'm gonna rap like the SoundCloud rapper.
So I was actually into like, do you guys know who Lil Peep is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Lil Peep and kind of like underground hip hop. As
Okay.
I was DJing, I was like kind of getting into that kind of
Okay.
music, like alternative hip hop. And I kind of wanted to make my own sound, but I was too afraid again to do something different than everybody else. But that's how I got into the rap.
I see,
I kind of
okay.
wanted to mix my own style with the rap.
Okay.
And then he also rapped, so you know, it kind of snowballed into
that's why you wanted to become a better rapper because he
Yeah.
was a rapper.
Exactly.
Okay.
It wasn't
Catch
hard,
what she's
but-
throwing there.
I understand. I see.
You get it.
Okay, I understand.
I have a question. At which point did you drop Natalia Natchan and decided to pick up your current identity as PiNKII? Because they're very different in character as well, right?
So I actually did a show, and on the flyer, like as a rapper, and it said Natalia Natchan on the flyer, and I was just like, this like doesn't feel right. Like
It's not me anymore, kind of.
it's just my music is so like I don't give a, and so like Natalia Natchan is just like Natalia Natchan this
Too
like
cute.
I don't know, it's just different. So my stepdad always used to call me PiNKII whenever I was growing up.
Ah.
And I don't know why, because I didn't have pink hair.
All right, well.
But yeah, he used to call me PiNKII. And then my hair was pink at the time, and strangers would always be like, hey, PiNKII. So I was just like, let's just take one of those steps out where I have to tell you my real name. I'll just like turn myself to PiNKII.
All right.
Don't gotta
Good
correct
move.
people.
Good branding decision. All
So
right.
that was also the point in your life coming back, starting rapping, going like, I think Natalia Natchan season is over. We're starting now.
Yeah.
PiNKII.
But it's funny because Natalia Natchan still sticks in Japan. Actually, on the way here, this girl in the station stopped me and she was like, Natchan desu ka?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Really?
So, and she had like, she was fast. We were like, I was walking so fast and she's like, sumimasen, Natchan desu ka?
Wow. That's
Wow.
very
Like,
impressive.
I changed my hair color and everything.
Wow.
But
Is that Natchan channel still there or did you close it?
it's still there. And I still have a big Japanese following. So it's funny because when a Japanese person walks up to me, they usually say, are you Natalia Natchan? But if somebody from outside of Japan comes up to me, they always ask if I'm PiNKII. So it's very interesting, like how I'm known in other countries. I think it's just because this is where I started everything. So that's how Japanese people know me. Do you know who PDR is?
Yeah.
PDR.
Very famous YouTuber in Japan.
Everybody refers to me as his sister still because I am.
Oh.
Wink.
Yeah, so people like know me from like the 2 videos I did with him too. Like it's kind of crazy. But he introduced me as Natchan. So I'm still like both Natalia Natchan and PiNKII because whenever I do like TV or anything here, they always introduce me as Natalia Natchan.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's almost like Utada Hikaru. Abroad, she's just Utada, while in Japan, she's Utada Hikaru.
Oh, I didn't know that, is she?
Yeah, it's like
I didn't know that.
the way you kind of like brand yourself on different countries as well.
So you hated a man, you rap, that makes you better as a rapper. You're in Missouri.
And then I want to get out on my own again in a bigger city. But I was nervous and I didn't know if I could handle living in that city all alone because LA is terrifying.
Okay.
So I moved to Chicago for a year.
Ah, I love
Isn't that
Chicago.
also terrifying?
You know, it's funny because when I was living in Chicago, a lot of people were like, Chicago is worse than LA.
Has very nice pizza.
Everybody out. Sorry, I'm done with this.
You just said
Chicago pizza is terrible. I'm sorry.
Deep dish. Yeah, anti-deep
Why is the
dish.
cheese on the bottom? The cheese is the best part. The cheese is on top. It's always got to be on top.
I didn't realize I was opening this can of worms.
All right.
So you moved to Chicago, you hated the pizza, then what happened?
Decided I need to get away from this pizza. So I came to Japan in 2020 of February. And I met with this agency and they're like, we want to introduce you as a Gyaru talent. We want to bring you to Japan and we're going to work with you. And I was like, life is getting so great. This was February 2020, mind you. Everybody around me.
We all remember that fun year.
Oh, God.
I was like, okay, but the soonest I can come is in April because I have to prepare everything. Yeah, you know what's happening. So I'm in Chicago. I have my whole entire apartment packed. I move everything to storage, and then I drive my car down to Missouri because it's like pretty close, 5 hours away. So close in American hours.
Wow.
I drive my car down to Missouri, and I leave it with my mom. And like 2 days later, we get the news that the borders are closed.
Oh my God.
All right.
No.
So I'm stuck in Missouri out of all places.
Oh man, the pandemic hits you. Yeah. Literally when you said April, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
But you were still YouTubing.
Literally closed in March, I think.
I was.
So you could keep working from Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay, so it didn't devastate your whole
Yeah.
life.
So you
So
kept
I'm
the
thankful
Natalia
for that.
Natchan YouTube channel? Were you still doing
Yes.
content?
In Chicago, I started kind of like releasing music in Chicago. And now I look back and I'm like, what was I doing? Because my YouTube views started going down a little bit. And I think I was always kind of afraid to like jump off the YouTube ship and do only music.
Well, that's fair enough. It's what you used to.
So I was like kind of releasing some songs while like still doing 3 YouTube videos a week.
That's so much.
But the music is your full-time schmagigi at the moment, yeah?
At the moment, yes.
Okay, great job. So how do we get from Missouri YouTube, can't come to Japan,
Yeah.
to doing your music full-time?
From 2020 to
Yeah,
now, because that's a
rapping.
big jump. And as
Yeah.
a YouTuber, hearing you jumping off and making the jump successfully, I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, I was releasing music and then I got in a car crash.
Oh, boy.
What?
Not violent, like just my car totaled and I got $2,000 back from the car.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
I was like, okay, I can either stay in Missouri and get a new car with $2,000 or I can move to LA with $2,000.
Oh.
So I was like, let me just see what happens.
Stop. Was your net worth before the car crash $0? $2,000 is all you had?
I did, like the YouTube money was not doing very well.
Oh,
Maybe
no,
like
really?
because it went from like my entire life, like when I lived in Japan before the boyfriend, I was paying all my bills with YouTube.
Wow, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And then during the pandemic, I started Twitch streaming too.
Okay.
So that was giving me some money. I would say at the time I had a couple hundred from music royalties.
Okay.
So I guess I wasn't completely like broke.
Destitute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, well, I have $2,000 and some couple hundred.
And a bit of income dribbling in. Moving to LA with $2,000 sounds like a quick way to live on the street.
Wow.
So many people were worried. Like, I don't know, it was kind of irritating because they were like, I don't want you to end up like on the street. I'm so blessed that I have a family to go home to before that were to happen. I wouldn't, so.
Okay, so then, did you go to LA?
I did.
Okay. Well, good job.
So it's like 2021 now?
2021, yes. I left Missouri on December 31st. And we drove through, my friends and my stepdad, we all drove to LA. And I kind of want to talk about the roommate I had there too, because she just so happened to need a roommate. The rent was like $900 a month, which is cheap for LA. And so she needed a roommate. She only needed it from January to April. And April, I assumed that Japan would be back open.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Alex.
You were bargaining on Japan opening.
For
Sorry.
so long.
A lot of decisions are made that year based upon, well, it can't go much longer than this channel.
Yeah. Oh my God. Little did we know.
Okay. So you moved in with her, got kicked out 2 months later, I guess.
No, but it actually worked out perfectly because she was like, they were going to move to Portland or something. And they went up there and they were like, no, it's boring. We're not moving. So.
Okay.
So you had to roommate for longer.
Yeah. Okay. And
so I'm still like questioning of content creation, heavy content creation, Twitch, YouTube. That is a lot of work, several videos to music. How did the switch happen?
yeah.
It was very gradual because I was releasing music. I was still consistently releasing music. YouTube, I want to say after 2020, I kind of stopped and I switched to Twitch. So that is one thing because there wasn't really much to do on YouTube at that time. So I started streaming on Twitch, which gave me a good amount of income. And then I had a Patreon at the time. So I was also making some money from that. And then I was constantly releasing music. And the year after that, I released like 2 songs a month. And so
wow.
That's good.
Just this year, I want to say, or maybe it was like at the beginning of this year, I finally made it to the point where my music royalties are like paying my rent.
Oh, good, man. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
That's massive. Well, hang on, but have you learned how to produce music yourself? How can you turn over music so quickly?
They have beats on YouTube for the most part.
Oh, okay.
Like you can type in like whatever artist you like.
Yeah.
Like there's probably even a Ladybeard type beat. I'm like,
we better go check that out. Okay, we will.
And then you like write your like bars for it? Or?
Yeah, and then you record, and then you can record it in a studio, or you can just send it off to somebody to mix.
Really? So you just got royalty-free music, royalty-free beats?
Oh, you have to buy it.
Oh, you got to buy it, I see.
Or like lease. It's kind of complicated, but.
All right, but you got pre-made beats. You wrote lyrics, stuck it on top of it. Shot your own videos, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
very
that's
impressive.
some really good
That's,
music
by the way,
videos.
that's the way you've done it. That's the modern way to do it. Everyone who wants to get into music, you do your influencer stuff, you build your audience, and then you start making music. It's the opposite of what it used to be when you went and you recorded an album and then you went to a label and they marketed that album. It's the opposite now. So you know.
It's the other way around, yeah.
So you're right. And that brings us up to speed.
Are we up to speed?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
So you are now PiNKII. You have music out, tons of music, some really awesome music videos.
Yeah.
You guys need to check those out. And what happened to your YouTube channel? Do you just like slowly stop doing it? Or are you sometimes still releasing it? What's your...
Yeah, I think whenever I started doing Twitch and then also TikTok, I like really hustled on TikTok during the pandemic. So I kind of switched from YouTube to TikTok. And now I'm just, instead of doing like vlogs and stuff on YouTube, I actually do it on TikTok. And it's a lot easier and like shorter. Like not 5 hours on editing.
Oh God.
Congratulations on having your royalties pay the rent. That's awesome.
That is
Thank you.
amazing.
You're
Yeah, that's
passive
a really
income.
Good switch.
You're a mogul is what you are. You own all that intellectual property and passive income.
Yeah, I'm glad that I left the agencies I was in.
Right.
I would recommend a lot of people think if you join a label, they're going to like make you famous, but it's definitely about putting in the work.
Do your research before you sign any label or company or anything deal, whatever you do.
Quick thing while we're wrapping up the episode about you. If someone wants to do what you do, can you give some advice? And also, What I think also is very interesting is why did you decide to do this in the US and not in Japan? Because you obviously had your fan base in Japan, or the biggest part. Why did you think, no, actually, I prefer the US?
So, well, one thing being that Japan was completely closed at the time that I was still releasing music. And LA is like, I think a really good place to make connections and like make other friends that are musicians. And I've heard from other people, I don't know, because I haven't really done music in Japan technically, but I've heard that Japan is not, like you hit a certain ceiling whenever you do music here. It's so hard to tell people what to do because I feel like my situation is a very special situation. Like I can't say just because you do TikTok or whatever, your music is gonna get attention. I also felt like my genre of music is very different. And I was kind of afraid that if I did it in Japan, they weren't going to accept it. Because you know how Japan is kind of like, they really like trends and they like something that's popular. And so like, if my music became popular in America, maybe they would like it in Japan. But I think it would be really hard to bounce off and do music here. Because whenever I first started my music, I remember my agency, as good as they were and as much as they wanted me to be creative, I remember one guy was like, oh, we should have you cosplay and sing songs in Akihabara. And I'm like, that's not what I want to do.
So they were trying to fit you again into the either idol category or cosplay category. And since you don't fit into any of those boxes, you decided to be out of that box that is Japan.
What you want to do as the artist is oftentimes not considered incredibly important under the Japanese systems. It's what we tell you to do.
And
that's
what sells.
Well,
which is funny because
it's interesting because like we bring coming back to her first agency or like YouTube studio told her, do this thing, do makeup, and you did something else and that actually did better.
That's what worked.
But it seems that there's like almost a rasta that sometimes gets approached to, no, you do this, you do, scheme A, scheme B, or scheme C might work with you, but you're somewhere completely else. You're out of that system now.
And I've never been the one to do like this. Like I've had a very different life, I think. I don't think I could ever do a normal job. I don't think, especially at this point in my life. Before I was more of a follower, but now I'm just like, I want to do things my way. If there's advice, that's fine, but I don't want, if somebody's telling me like, oh, you need to do this with your vocals instead, I don't really feel the need to put their opinion before mine when it comes to creativity. So I feel like that's the best way to go whenever you're trying to stick out.
You got your own independency there. Autonomy and independency.
Independent artist.
Is exciting and I want to hear more. So we're going to have an episode 2 now about who is PiNKII as such. What is Gyaru? What is Gyaru rap?
And I want to talk a bit more about rap as well.
We want to find out more about that. So let's check out the next episode. But before that, please plug your socials or your newest single or whatever you want to plug.
All right, so my name is PiNKII. My Instagram and all my socials are at It's PiNKII. So ITSPINKII. Make sure you get the it's in there. Everybody's always so confused with that. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I just released a song called Jawbreaker, and it's available on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, and all the other ones that nobody uses. So check it out.
Woo!
All right, we'll be back very soon with more of the PiNKII on another Exploring Star. Can't wait! Gotta wrap out.